Hello, everybody. Welcome to my show, Steve Sports. My name is Steven. I call it Steve Sports. It sounds a lot better that way, so you can call me Steve if you like. Wearing my Buccaneers shirt, got the football vest on. Kind of show you the sports analogy here on the show. Kind of like branding myself out there for people that are interested in watching my show, interested in sports. So this is something I share. So I have some stories to talk about today. Yesterday was kind of a bit shocking for me as a Buccaneers fan and as a football fan, but in the entire world of football fans world, was that Bruce Arians is stepping down as the head coach of Tampa Bay. He was there for 3 seasons. Really, he won a Super Bowl in the second season. The Buccaneers were were informed that he was stepping down and that he would take over the front office position. And if you looked at his numbers at a head coach, which I have written down, he's 31 wins, 18 losses. His average is 633, which is a highest win percentage by any coach in Buccaneers history. He won 5 playoff games, and with the Buccaneers actually, and the previous coaches have won 6 combined. Now, defensive coordinator Todd Bowles has become the new head coach of Tampa Bay Buccaneers after he signed a 5-year deal to become the head coach. He was the head coach on the Jets from 2015 to 2018. He was 24-40. Now, if you look at his numbers with the Jets to now to the Bucks, I think the bigger picture here we're going to see is that Brady returns. We're going to see Bowles get more wins out of the team because he's got players that are. He's got a quarterback. He's got weapons to work with. He's got defense to work with. So I do believe that we're going to see the Buccaneers take the NFC South over Carolina, over New Orleans, and over Atlanta for sure. So I do feel like we could see the Buccaneers take that opportunity with Bowles to win some games, make the playoffs, and I think a 5-year deal was very smart by the owner to bring in Bowles. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good fit. I'm kind of glad that they chose him, to take over his innings. Even they picked Brian Leftwich, which is another good choice as well. So I feel like this could be a new era we're going to see now in coaching as we continue to see growing in the NFL. Like I said, this show is just going to be my opinion, so I'm basically just putting this out here. So I'm kind of glad that Bruce Arians decided to retire. He's 69 years old. I do know for a fact that this had nothing to do with his health issues from the past. This was more of something that they discussed for weeks to decide what they were going to do. He was going to coach any longer. And I think it's very smart for him to step down, to not put more stress to his health, and kind of find a better role that fits him. And he's senior football operations for the Buccaneers to kind of help the front office with draft picks, free agencies, trades. So he knows his football, and I think that's a very smart move for him to step down, and let somebody else take over, so they could coach and get that rhythm going. Now, the other story that has been rumored around the NFL is Seattle Seahawks. Now, we do know that Colin Kaepernick had called Pete Carroll about trying out for the team, hoping to get back into the NFL. We also know that the Cam Newton was name put in as a possibility. Baker Mayfield's name been put in a possibility going to Seattle. If that's the case, now to me, I rather pick Baker Mayfield over those two because, to be honest, Mayfield has a good experience. He's won some games. The Browns have given a good career out of him. He's got a lot more left in him. I think he could push for a huge playoff runs with the team. I'm not saying Cam Newton's a bad choice. No, I'm saying is that I feel like Mayfield is a better fit because with the roster, the offensive line that we have, we're kind of rebuilding, and Cam Newton might not want to be in that possibility of the rebuild. He's like in his 30s, so Cam is going to look more a team that's a winning team. Yeah, he was with the Patriots one year and then didn't make the playoffs, and then the following year he got cut. So, and then he went to Carolina, and Carolina just kind of flopped. He flopped down a little bit. Cam is a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. His arrogance is going to be the main issue. I'm more concerned about as a Seattle owner is I want to have a team that's going to have players that respects the league, respects the team, respects the community. Those are the biggest thing that any owner should be looking at when they're picking players or coaches or staff. So Colin's situation was really when he was kneeling during the national anthem, he did it more of a kind of bit respected, but if he showed more of the reasons why, I think it would be different. I know it's against Bruce police brutality, which I respect. I understand that. Colin hasn't played for a long time, so I don't think he'll be in an NFL team at all. I don't think he's going to be back in the NFL. I don't think we're going to see him back anywhere. I don't feel like there's much out there for him at this point. So it's really questions the theory of where the Seattle Seahawks are going to do at this point. Now, Mayfield, on the other hand, is a lot of questions. I do know that the Panthers, the Seahawks, and the Falcons. Well, no, I don't think the Falcons. I think another team. I can't remember. Are the team that are interests that are suitable for Mayfield. If the Seahawks want to be smart, they would have to look at Cam Newton and Mayfield. Now, if they get Mayfield off a trade, I would resign to at least a 3-year deal to kind of see where things go for a few years because you don't know what it's going to be. Because you got Drew Lock under a 1-year deal extension, so it'll be interesting to see. Now, if you got Cam, I would sign him a 1-year deal to see if he does well for Seattle and if there's potential future with him as a Seattle quarterback. That's something we'll have to keep in mind and watch and see what's going to happen. But after the draft, I think we'll get an idea where things are going to go for the Seahawks. Things are going to go for Mayfield. Things are going to go for Cam. So those are the kind of things that we're going to have to look into as the NFL season offseason continues. And I also want to bring up was New Orleans Saints have signed a 1-year deal to former Bears quarterback Andy Dalton. I think was a smart choice. I feel like Dalton deserved another chance at playing as quarterback. He should be on a team. He's not great as he was before, but at least he's on a team that'll use him. Now with Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton on the Saints are going to look up more of a good team, not great, a team that is playoffs hope. Not like the Buccaneers who are playoff contenders. So that'll be something that we'll have to look into as we look into the off season continues until the preseason league kicks in. Now I'm gonna transition to basketball, NBA. Now I know there's people out there that watch my show that are Laker fans. So if you're a Lakers fan and you know I know you that are Lakers fans, you know who I'm talking about. Well, I got some news for you. Now the Lakers lost to the Mavericks 128 to 110. Now that did not mean the Lakers are fully out of the playoffs yet. Don't get me wrong, the Lakers are still a good team, but they gotta stabilize a winning team. Now I'm talking about Russell Westbrook, I'm talking about LeBron James, I'm talking about Anthony Davis. Those three gotta step up, work together, get a good chemistry going, and work as a team. Don't put the blame on Russell Westbrook. Don't put the blame on Anthony Davis. Don't put the blame on LeBron James. Put the blame on the front office because during the trade deadline, the Lakers did no trades. Now, what that tells me as a fan is that, okay, what's going to happen? Why aren't the Lakers doing something? Well, if that means they're trying to push LeBron out, I don't know because LeBron's got one more season left under his contract with the Lakers, and we don't know if the Lakers are going to re-sign him. Now, if the Lakers wanted to re-sign him, my theory would be is to sign him to an extension to see when his son goes in the draft. Try to get him sooner so that way you have LeBron to retire as a Laker and not go to Cavs. Now, he didn't say he's not going to go to the Cavaliers. He could go there and play again. I'm not saying that could be a possibility. So, really, the Lakers are going to have to really think twice about this as the season continues towards the end to the playoffs. And if they want to make the playoff now with the guy they got to push some wins. They got to push some wins this time. They got to. Because I feel like if the Lakers lose this, to not make the playoff this year, I think it would help them for the next couple of years because then they can do is look into their roster, look at their money, see what they can do, see who they're going to let go, who they're going to keep, who they're going to trade away. Those are the kind of things that the front office is going to have to look into and decide what are the best options for them. I'm not saying they have to get rid of LeBron. I'm not saying they have to get rid of Anthony Davis. I'm not saying that they're Westbrook. I'm saying is they got to rebuild around the guys they're going to keep. Now, if I was the Lakers owner, I would try to keep all three because I feel like this team can still win a championship. Try to win a couple more while you have LeBron still playing in the NBA. Because if he does retire and you don't win a championship, you're going to have to start rebuilding the whole system again with the guys you got. They're still their legacy is astonishing. I mean, incredible. Their numbers are great. They have good history. They have won more championships. They're like the Yankees of basketball. They're like that. So really, I look at it as the Yankee Bombers, Lakers Bombers. I would call them the Lakers Bombers. Though, if that is what we could see, if the Lakers pull off to make the playoffs, which very small chance, very, very small, but I do feel like we could see them make the playoffs. I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying they will, but I'm saying there's a small chance. Very small. Not like my Golden State Warriors, who lost to the Suns 107-103, but had a good matchup. Steph Curry wasn't playing in that game, which I understood. Both played great basketball. So in the West Division, I feel strongly about the. I think the Warriors and the Suns will meet in the Western Conference Finals. I'm not saying that's my. I'm not saying that's my straight up. I'm saying that's a prediction. I'm not saying that is a spoiler. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the spoiler will be that the Suns will make the NBA Finals. They got Devin Booker. They got Rick and Chris Paul. They got a lot of young talent on that team. A team that is ready to win. A team that is hungry for a championship. They learned on what the Lakers have done. They learned how the Bucks did it. They learned how the Heats did it. They learned from the Celtics. So really, they're going to be a very good team. If you look at the NBA Eastern Conference, which I will tell you is going to be interesting because you got Milwaukee, you got Miami Heat who have taken the first spot. You got the Boston Celtics, the Chicago Bulls, 76ers, and the Raptors. I'm surprised the Nets went down. I thought the Nets were going to get better, but because Arians' issue in New York, which is kind of the factor to why the Nets are struggling. So it could be a very interesting how the Eastern Conference goes. I do see the Heats and Bucks going to the Eastern Conference Finals and taking that opportunity to really burst out the best they got. So it'll be interesting to see where things go. Like I said, with the Lakers, they still have a little time left. I wouldn't put too much hope into that. I would just say, let's finish strong, and we'll see how the offseason do. But if they do make the playoffs and try to win the first round, I would be surprised. I'll be honest. I would be surprised. They got a lot of players, good players, but they're not going to have that championship caliber like they're going to have like they had in 2020. When the great Kobe Bryant passed away, which was a sad day in NBA world, I was shocked about that. Rest in peace to a Laker legend. No matter what people say, he is a Laker legend to me, to every Laker fans out there, and you know who I'm talking about. Everybody's a Laker. Somebody's a Laker fan somewhere, and LeBron is trying to do what Kobe done for the Lakers, and I respect that. I respect that. And to me, to carry somebody's legacy on a team is harder to do because you're carrying a legend that has helped build this team for success. He has marked his footprints on that court. He has marked his name on that team. And if you want to mark your name on that team as well to be next to a legend, you got to push harder. And I think LeBron has done it. I think LeBron has marked himself as a Laker legend as well, like he was with the Cavs. So really, it'll be interesting to see where the Lakers go at this point. It'll be interesting to see where every team goes in the NBA. Denver Nuggets are looking good. Dallas Mavericks, they're looking good. But I still think the Suns are going to be heavily favored in the NBA West. So I like to see how this goes. I think there's going to be a lot of changes around this. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping the Warriors to make it. I'll be honest, I like the Warriors. I do like the Lakers. I do like the Lakers. They're just my enemy, but I do like them. So it'll be interesting to see where things go at this point. So that's all I got right now for today's episode of Steve Sports. Please follow my channel, and if you have a comment you want to make or questions you want to ask me, please put it in the comments and feel free to let me know because I'd be happy to answer those questions. I'm trying to build my sport brand name out there, and I appreciate you taking your time to watch my show. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Go Lakers!